All right, folks, here we go. Recapping week 7. Thank you for joining me here on the JGN Junior Golf Network, exclusively covering the Crown Colony PGA Junior League, one of the best of East Texas. All right, so we had some strange matches. A lot of people kind of was taking some vacation and had some other stuff, so we had to kind of do some odd pairs. So we're going to kind of be recapping the week, and you might be hearing some names over, but it was a fun week. And a little foreshadowing here, we probably had one of the matches of the year, which we'll be leading into here in a little bit. So let's start off with what we had Tuesday night. Tuesday we did have the Express going up against the Roadrunners. The Roadrunners got it 6-3, improving the season to 5-1. And staying just about a half a game in front of the Crowns for second place. We had Damon and Jacob taking on the brothers, Logan and Hunter. It was a pretty close match. As usual, there was a lot of birdies, but the brothers got it. Mary, Michael, and Caroline took care of business in their match. It was very good. They took on Destiny Celeste. They had some good shots, but it was the big duo, Mary, Michael, and Caroline, kind of edging out on that one. And in a big win, Will, Bryn, and Chase barely edged out Kaylin, Millie, and Gibson, okay? But, as I said, the Roadrunners prevailed, taking the win and keeping them just a half a game there in front of second place. We'll be right back with Wednesday's night's match. All right, Mom. Here's our Mom Zone segment of the week. Okay, I've hit my drive into the water. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to place it back in play. Okay, last week we talked the actual technique of dropping the ball, so now let's put it into action. Okay, so I've hit my ball into the water here and I've crossed a red line. Okay, this is what used to be called hazards, but now we call them penalty areas. Okay, so my ball has gone into a penalty area. So the simplest way is we're going to figure out where my last point the ball crossed the red line. Okay, so my ball crossed the red line right here, so I can go back on my line and drop the ball back into play. Okay, so I'm going to say it dropped right into here. I'm going to go back, make sure I'm out of the penalty zone area, and drop my ball. Okay, I am back into play and I can resume play. Okay, so that's our little mom tip of the week. Alright guys, I said we were going to do Wednesday, but I'm actually going to save that one at the end because there was a special match in that, so we're actually going to go ahead and do Thursday's match. Thursday's match, we had the Cyclones and the Panthers. The Cyclones kept their winning ways and staying undefeated. They won that one. It was a close one, 4-3. We basically only had 2 matches that night. Sawyer and Dane took on Daniel, Olivia, and Brooks, and Sawyer and Dane actually got the win by half a point there. But it was the big match. My two, who I'm going to start calling the Smack Talk brothers, Jacob and Andrew. Andrew almost had him a hole-in-one there on 14, hitting the pin, and I heard he also hit the pin on hole 11. They took care of business against Mason and Victoria. So great match right there. They played on, I believe they shot about 3 under on their own ball, so it was very good to watch. It was fun. They got to play the back nine for a change, but the Cyclones keep their winning ways going on, moving to 7-0 on the season and staying in first place. All right, guys. This next one I will be talking about after the break. I'll be setting up. Please pay attention to the interview. It's going to be dynamite. All right, guys, we're here on our off the golf course interview. We got Parker and Taylor Day. How are you doing, guys?
Good.
All right. What do y'all like most about team practices and lessons?
Being with our friends. You get to play with your friends and stuff.
Okay. What about PGA Junior League? What do y'all like about that?
It's like a competition. It's like a fun competition, and you know everybody you're playing against.
It's not too stressful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Would you recommend this to your other friends who don't play golf?
Definitely.
All right. And what's your favorite thing about the game of golf so far?
Beating my sister. You do not beat me. Yes, I did. Beating my brother.
Parker, you think are you winning in the grand total of beating your sister?
Yes.
Yes. Taylor, you disagree?
I disagree. 100%.
All right. That is our off the golf course interview this week. We'll check you next time. All right, guys. Hopefully y'all paid attention to our off the course interview. There was a little foreshadowing there between the brother and the sister. So we had enough players just to make matches. Basically, the Crowns moved to 5-2. They won this one against the Lumberjacks, but we still had some fun. We still had some matches. So let's kind of go over this real quick, and we'll set up and talk about the main match there at the end and tell you how all that kind of came out. Alrighty, so we have, starting off, G-Money and Hollis went up against Anna and Connor. G-Money was making putts everywhere and got that little win right there to help the Crowns move up. Next, we had Hayes and Tripp taking on Paxton and Corbin. Corbin actually played really well. It was very nice to see. And they actually, I think, got Hayes and Tripp there at the end. So it was a good win. And in our last match, the one I've been talking about this whole episode, just to make things interesting and keep it competitive, we had Miller and Parker go up against Delaney and Taylor. And if you were watching in the interview, Parker and Taylor, brother, sister, older sister, younger brother. A rivalry that will keep going on for the ages. And Parker did say he can beat a sister, but that was not the case Wednesday night. Miller and Parker started off in the first 3 holes. They started on hole number 2. Boys won the first hole, girls won the next hole. So that flag, that point was still up in the air. Going on the next 3 holes, the boys go up. They get 1 solid point. But the girls rallied. They got together, they talked it out, and they decided to go for it. They made 2 great pars on the next 7 and 8 to win that point, and then we jump right into hole number 1. So this was tied 1-1. It was even, dead square away. And the girls ended up making a great par saves, tying the boys. So the match actually ended 1.5 for 1.5. No blood there. But they never played hole number 9, and the boys decided to say, hey, let's play it off. Boys hit their drives over there to the right, punched down in front of the green, had a par chance. But big old Taylor Days stripes one right down the middle, and Miss Delaney Neal, the ice queen herself, stuck it up there to about 6 feet, makes birdie, and winning the bragging rights for a while in the Day household. So I've checked on the boys. Mentally, they're good, but the girls definitely have bragging rights for the rest of the summer. So those were our matches this week. We'll be right back talking about Player of the Week, Upcoming Player, and Legend Player. Alright guys, here we are. We're talking about what's in the bag, and this is going to be kind of like a 2-part. We're going to talk about stuff we need to be either drinking or eating. This week we're going to talk about drinking, okay? So it's hot, and we're in Texas, so we're going to be sweating a lot, okay? So a couple of signs that we know we've gotten overheated is that, if you start normally that you're not sweating as normal, or you kind of feel actually like you're getting cold, this means your body is overheating, okay? So we always want to make sure we get fluids in our stuff, okay? And I'm not talking like Coke or 7-Up or Sprite or stuff like that, stuff with a lot of sugar in it, okay? We don't want that. We actually want water or certain, Gatorade, okay? So we're like that, okay? So we always want to make sure we're drinking plenty of water, okay? All right, so it's getting hot. This is the best thing you have. Always make sure we're drinking water and drinking plenty, okay? Now, again, we're trying to avoid sugar, so a regular Gatorade has a lot of sugar. It has a lot of other great things, but instead of always getting a regular Gatorade, get a zero. It's got less sugar, okay? So when we're out there in the summer and it's hot and we're playing, the idea is our body's almost like an engine, okay? And we're trying to rev up our engine as much as we can to keep swinging and playing as great as we can and making the same swing on our last hole as we did on the first hole, okay? So putting a lot of sugar with a lot of sugary drinks in it is not always great, okay? More water or a Gatorade with less sugar, okay? And cut back on the Cokes, okay? Coke should be, we're done, we're sitting inside, and we're celebrating a great round, okay? All right, so less sugar, more water, or a Gatorade Zero, okay? That's what I recommend as like that. Remember, we've got to stay hydrated so we can stop being overheated, okay? That's what's in our bag this week. Next week, we'll talk about what food we need to be eating. All right, guys, here we are talking about giving a little spotlight to some of these kids. All right, my player of the week, just because he has been playing really good lately, Mr. Swag himself. He's always got the sock game on point. I'm giving it to Jacob Ureta. He's been playing really good in his little North Texas stuff. He's been playing great in the league, leading the Cyclones. So he is our player of the week. Upcoming player, I got to give it to Corbin, Wild Man himself. He's been playing a lot better of late and really starting to put things up. And our legend player of the week, I'm giving it to my man KJ. KJ's going to be a junior this coming up year. He's been putting a lot of hard work. I think he's got a good chance of making varsity this year. So I'm giving it to KJ. He's been putting in the work. Very proud of what he's done. So those are our kids who we're giving the spotlight to this week. So always remember, can't do it without y'all. Please, folks, please keep sending me pictures and videos, even if they're playing in a lot of these individual tournaments. I know a lot of the kids are trying to make it to the end of the year tournament, and they're playing a lot lately. So I think that's great. I'm glad more kids are out there playing now. It's really happy to see. I'll probably be doing one episode of the ones who are playing in the East Texas Championship. So more the merrier. I like seeing that, and hopefully that grows over here the next few years. So that's our show this week. I want to thank everybody. That's week 7 in the books. We'll be back talking about week 8. Here we go. Thank y'all.